I'm Jay Horton. I make movies that make money, and this is Filmmakers On. Today, I'm talking to indie filmmaker Alex Hwang. He's produced and directed several indie features. We talk about how he juggles a career outside of movies and still finds time to pump out more features than a lot of full-time filmmakers. Let's do the interview thing.
Yeah, I was just looking at your IMDb and I saw you had like 4 features in post-production. No, 5, 6, 7, no, 6.
Yeah, one finally got done. There's a movie called Beary starring Vernon Wells, you know him.
Yep.
Felicia Ross, Sarah French, Tom Haley, and Vincent M. Ward from Walking Dead also. We shot that about 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And we just got done.
Yeah, the poster on that looks great, and the images that I've seen.
Oh, thank you. I could send you the poster so you could put it up the.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
And it is premiering at the Marina del Rey Film Festival on July 17.
Alex, so let's go back a little bit. How long have you been making movies? Not that long, right? Was it like 2015 you started, something like that?
I mean, there's some history behind it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. When I was a kid, I grew up in Korea. I came here when I was 11. While I was in Korea, I grew up on King Kong, Superman, Star Wars, those big, blockbuster, Jaws, big blockbuster movies. Then I came over here and I kind of went into drama, but I always wanted to kind of direct stuff. So my friend had those, I got a Super 8 camera. So started making fun videos with my friends. Then 16 millimeter films, but they're getting way too expensive because I don't want to cut the original, make copies, that's expensive. Then it was getting way too expensive. So I said, I'll wait. I got a job at the Viacom production for about 2 years, but you know how production jobs are. Every 3 months, you need to find a new job.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped. And I think 2014, somebody told me about 48-hour film project. I'm like, what is that? Oh, you got to make movie in 48 hours. Well, 2015 at the time, the digital cameras are coming out, 1080p, and you could actually edit movies on your computer. So now you don't have to cut the films or anything. So I said, well, let me try and see what it is. So I helped somebody. I'm like, oh, I could do this. So I signed up next year, which was 2015. Then I said, you know what? I always wanted to do feature. Let's write something. So I have a friend, Anthony Worley, who's a really good writer. So he and I kind of worked on the action film based on a short film I did. It was horrible. I mean, sound is bad. I think we shot with the 8 millimeter Sony camera. And I mean, it's a fun movie, fun action movie. So I said, let's do something like this or continue from that or, sequel. I don't know. I could send you the link. It's pretty funny. And it's, I think we shot in 1991 with the 8 millimeter Sony. So 2015, I said, let's do a feature. So we contact those people who were in that original movie in a way in 1991, 92. So we got those people together and the new people, and we made a feature. That was 2015. Then after that, I mean, I wanted to kind of redo it again and fix the sound. There's some sound issues. But then after that, and I'm like, I looked at my wife, we could do this every year. So we start kind of making movies every year with the friends and the people who wants to get involved. I started basically shooting feature in 2014, and start producing it since I would say 2015 is the correct year, first year.
Right. And so you were basically like, you were working like your job, your career, and you would, what were you financing these yourself? Like, like you'd pay for them, shoot them on vacation, something like that, or?
Right. I'm lucky enough that I have tons of vacation. I've been with this company for 15 years, so I have tons of vacation. So I was save up money. And I mean, the first movie, I didn't know anything about financing. I didn't know anything about investors. I didn't know anything about those. So I just kind of gathered together friends and you're on Facebook, so
Yeah.
I would say, hey, I need an editor. Who do anyone know who, good editor? Hey, I need a special effect guy. Anybody know anyone? As far as actors goes, I used a lot of theater actors at the time, and I still do many times. That's how I did it. I did finance the first movie myself. Lately, people are coming to me, said, when I pitch them, I'm actually finding an investor right now, so which is good, which means I don't have to finance everything all by myself. And I'm lucky enough to find some people who believe in my work and say, hey, here's some money to help with your budget. So I've been doing the last two, three projects. Yeah.
Wow.
So that helps a lot.
Right.
So you want to invest, please contact me. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What was
Yeah.
the name of that first movie?
Prey in Cold Blood. It's
Okay.
in Amazon.
Okay.
It's on Amazon. Yeah.
So what did you do for distribution on that?
I didn't know much about distribution at the time, as I said, and I did Amazon.
And you did in what year did you release it?
2015.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, a lot of people didn't even know enough to do that.
Yeah. And I found out, and I'm boom, boom, boom. I put it in 2015. It was still 15 cents per hour, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Hour, not minute. It was always an hour.
Yeah.
And I was making $3,000-$4,000 a month.
Wow. Yeah.
So it made the money back for what we spent, and a little extra. So and I always wanted to do a parody on Jaws, and I guess that's another one. It's on YouTube, I think. And it was just friends, kids, friends, and I was just wanted to test it out if I could do a few long movie before playing Cold Blood. So we made this 1-hour movie, and I think it came out. I think it's pretty funny. It's on the. It's called Flaws. It's based on Jaws. Instead of ocean, what happens in the pool, and what happens instead of shark, a pool cleaners killing people. I put that on Amazon also. At that time, it was 15 cents per hour also, and made tons of money on that one too. Before they took it out. That was my first distribution, which, as I said, first feature, I didn't know much. I wish I could have done a lot of things differently as far as the production goes or post-production goes, but that was my first distribution, was to do it yourself.
Right. Well, it's unusual for a first-time filmmaker, especially at that level, to even make their money back. So, you're ahead of a lot of people.
Yeah, that was my worry with the distribution. As I said, I didn't know much about distribution. Maybe that was blessing. I didn't know who to contact. I didn't know who to send it to. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. And it's funny when you look at it in the beginning. Well, I didn't know about marketing or advertising either. So I would just put, hey, friends, come and see this. And it kind of word got passed around, and I was doing okay. As I said, I made the money back, what I spent, and also plus.
So what did you follow that up with?
I think in between I did little shorts. I always do shorts for kind of fun, and also working with the new talent to see if I want to work with this person or not again. I do that. And when I get the equipment, hey, I want to test this out, then I do a little short. But next one was Lilith. It was with also Vernon Wells was in it, Jen Dangles, Charles Chudabala. Yes. Yep. Lara. Really good actors, really upcoming actors. And Thomas Haley was in it also. Devaney Pinn was in it. So it was fun movie to shoot. And it was an anthology. So it started out as a script that I supposed to give it to somebody, and he changed the whole contract around. And I said, well, I'm not going to be part of that one. So we have a good script. Let's shoot it ourselves. So we shot it because it's a part of his anthology that, and he got all messed up. So, well, why don't we just lengthen it, make our own anthology? And that's what we did. And I think it came out pretty good. Actually, Terror Film got it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's re-released it in July 30th.
Okay, so they're doing a re-release of it now?
Yeah, I did the do it yourself again on that one also, because I was kind of successful in the first time. Then after that, it kind of, they changed their, payout programs to penny per minute and all that, per hour. And I don't think it was sustainable in Amazon.
Right.
So I took it out and I looked for different distribution. So Terror Film has it now. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about them. I interviewed Joe Dane from
Yeah,
Terror
he's a
Films
great
for
guy.
here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
awesome
you said it's coming out in July?
July 30th.
30th. Okay.
It's gonna re-released. And I need to I just got the email yesterday, and I need to contact cast and crew for
Start your promotion.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
So that was my second one. Yeah.
Like these days, when you finish something, what do you look at for distribution?
I mean, I have a list of distributions that I send the screeners to. The other producers I'm working with, they have also connections with the other distribution. So we send them, all the, EPK, electronic, packet, and also screener and the information about, posters and photos. And that's what I do now. Yeah. And I mean, but do it yourself is always in the back of my mind. Always, because distribution, they may be able to get to a certain places that I can't get to.
Right.
But also now with the good marketing advertising, I believe one can actually, get the money back that they spent on it, or, some profit on top of it with the do it yourself. But the first thing I do is when movie's done, send out to distribution companies to see if anybody wants it. Yeah. And as I said, I have connections, and now other producers that I work with, they have connections. So hopefully between all of us, we can find one, that's with a good contract and good deals. Yeah.
Yeah. And if push comes to shove, there are other avenues now to self-distribute past Amazon, which is cool.
Right. I've been researching FilmHubs.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. So, I watch a lot of your videos.
Oh, thank you.
I may not tell you this, but I watch every time your video. I'm your subscriber, so every time it dings, I watch it. I may not share it, or I'm like, oh, that's a good one. I'm not going to share it with the world. I just got to listen to it, but I should. But
oh no, that's fine. Just so hey, you're watching it, that's great.
So, but I good at I get a good information from your video. And it's very educational. I think everybody should listen to your YouTube video or watch it. Not only you have good insight to it, but you also describe, for example, Amazon, the FilmHUB, and other distributions, or marketing or advertising. So I think it's a good venue to go to, good channels to go to and learn about. Especially for the first-time directors or producers,
Oh yeah.
A place to go to and just watch and learn.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much why I started it. I've said it a few times on here, but I started it because when I started, there was hardly anybody talking about this stuff, at least at lower levels. All we ever heard about was blockbuster stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I thought about like doing a YouTube channel where I review the film gear. But not as technical stuff. I don't care about technical stuff.
Yeah.
I just, hey, here's this, camera. Let's see how it works. Here's this and this. Hey, it comes out good.
Right. So you were saying you've been shooting quite a bit. Now, you didn't go to film school or anything like that, right? Are you self-taught?
I went to Cal State Fullerton. They had a very, very small film TV production. I think they were accepting for junior and senior year about 8 people. That's it. There was no video camera. We were actually using 60 millimeter camera.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Cal State Fullerton, I think it changed since I graduated. I think they have a huge communication building now. But it was really hands-on and it was great. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so I went to film school for film school. That was my major, communication, at Cal State Fullerton.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like the technical aspect, like as far as the shooting and like learning the cameras and, you know, all that stuff?
I think as a director, I think you should all know that. I should, you know, directors should know that. So if somebody comes with the little issues, you could say, hey, why don't you use this and do that? Hey, maybe you're not doing it correctly. You know, so whatever equipment you're using or you have, I think a director, I've been directing and producing my own thing. So whoever you're, you know, whether you're a director or producer or both, I think you should know the equipment. So, you know, if there's an issue, you know what to do with it. But work closer with your DP and work close with your, you know, sound guy, you know, during the production. But I think you should know your equipment. Yeah.
Right. When it comes to like purchase versus rental, do you like to buy cameras and like have it for your productions, or do you rent each time? Like, how does that work for you?
It all depends. I think every filmmaker has a camera.
Oh, yeah.
I believe, whether it's a DSLR or, you know, cinema camera. I think everybody has one. I do have one. But when we shot Paranormal Attraction, we rented a camera, Red Helium. When we shot Train Cold Blooded, I used at that time Panasonic GH4.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was 4K at that time. You know, then and it was a big thing because it was 4K, and this was 2015, and what was it? Lilith was, I think, mixture with the A7 Sony A7S.
Okay.
So yeah, it was. So I do have a camera that I use for the project, but depends on the project. I may rent it. When we shot Beary, Adam Becks, a great cinematographer, he had his own equipment, so I don't have to rent anything. I mean, it comes with him. So
right.
That was a great, but he's really good.
Awesome. Yeah. Have you ever done film festivals?
Yes, tons. As I said, Marina Del Rey Film Festival, Golden State Film Festival, AOF Film Festival in Las Vegas, Detroit Film Festival. There are tons. I do like those. I like watching my movies on big screen. You know what's funny is when you're done with the movie, and you've probably seen it thousands of times. I mean, I know every dialogue, every cut, but it's just fun to watch it in big theaters still. Yeah,
and I agree with that. What would you tell, like somebody that was doing film festivals now? What are some tips? What would you tell them?
Know your audience, you know, and make sure you invite a whole bunch of friends and family. You go into a film festival and you are the only one sitting there with your cast and crew, and not all cast and crew shows up either. So just make sure your friends are there. I mean, market it. Let them know that, your movie's playing at social theater and social film festival. So people come in and watch your movie, and you could even invite, someone at the distribution or, other producers or even other investors, so they could enjoy your movie. It's hard. I do it because it's fun, good place to meet people, good place to show your movie. But number one, don't expect to win everything or win anything, because you may not. It's a place to network with other directors and other producers and, even the crew, that you might need in the future, or even actors, you may admire certain actors and their work, and you may see them on that film festival. So make a connection, do your network, introduce yourself. That's what I would do. I mean, that's the tip. Number one, watching your film on the big screen is fun, but network. You need to network while you're up there. Yeah.
How do you approach your marketing these days? I mean, I assume everything, social media and whatnot.
I ask my actors and crews to advertise. As soon as movie comes out, please put in your social media. Please put it in your Facebook, Instagram, and I do that too. Also, I do target Facebook advertising.
Yeah.
Tons of them. I mean, people don't realize. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter your movies on Netflix. Let's say, wow, Netflix. It doesn't matter your movies in the theater. If no one comes to see it because there's nobody knows about it,
Yep.
it doesn't matter. So you gotta let your audience know that movie's out there.
With the Facebook ads, because I've been talking about this lately. I just did a video actually on Facebook ads. I can't remember if I put it out yet or not. What are your like quick tips for Facebook ads? Because I know a lot of people, a lot of filmmakers, they'll try it once or twice. They don't really figure it out, and then they just say, it's worthless. You can't. It doesn't do anything. I don't get any ROI on it.
I put clips of the movie. Mm-hmm. Which is your advice, put clips.
Yep.
Or trailer.
Yep.
And also target audience, know your age. It's not an exploitation movie. In the beginning it was, you see sex and boobs and a lot of blood and action. But as I get older, or as I've been making movies, it's less and less of that.
Yeah. But
know your target, Prey in Cold Blood is for between, I would say, 16 and 25, 20, 30. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of, hunting stuff like guns and arrows and all that. So I would target those people, target hunters, target, the bow and arrow shooter and, and the camouflage or hunting gear people.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's one thing I think people miss a lot with the Facebook ads is they just think about it like as a movie. And I'm like, no, you got to think of these as people. What kind of people are watching this, and what activities do those people partake in?
Right. So Paranormal Attraction is there's a theme, LGBTQ theme. Mm-hmm. So when I drive traffic, Facebook or whatever, I would target LGBTQ audience too,
right?
Not just also LGBTQ audience, but LGBTQ audience who likes movies, who likes watching movies. So I would target them. So it's not just general, hey, here's a movie out there, watch it.
Right.
You gotta target an age group too. You can't just say all ages,
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. Unless you're spending tons and tons of money, you cannot be broad. You have to get really specific.
Well, I hear there was one guy. I was watching it on other YouTube video who mm-hmm. spent $9,000 on Facebook ad,
right,
on 1 month, but his return was over $100,000.
I believe that.
Yeah, but I can't.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Well,
not yet.
When I first started doing them, I didn't know much about it. So, I'd have a horror movie and it was a zombie movie. So I'd type in horror movie, zombie movie, and then I would just find like popular zombie movies.
Right.
And then I would kind of pick my age group and I was too broad. And of course they never delivered well. It wasn't until I started getting a little more specific and figuring out and narrowing your searches. You can have the first level of, general stuff and you can get more specific. They have to match this and that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to spend time. You can't just put, I just put Facebook ad and we'll see what happens. No, you got to study your audience. You got to study your genre. You got to study who wants to watch your movies. I mean, what kind of audience are out there for your movie, and you need to really target those in order to get any result.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Yeah. So with that, and the other cool thing about Facebook ads is you can run an ad, you can run it for, very cheap, and you can play around with those elements. Like when I do an ad, I'll start it at $1 a day. I'll run it for like a week. And until I can get my, click through or my price per video under a penny or around a penny, I won't mess with it.
Right.
And then you can pick it up.
there's the Facebook has so much restriction now.
Yeah.
Like LGBTQ theme movie, for example, the Paranormal Attraction.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ad was two girls talking, just looking at each other, and one girl kind of, get closer to her, like ready to kiss her. But in that trailer, the clip, it doesn't. It cuts to something else.
Yeah.
But it gets rejected. It's like, oh, there's a sexual situation. It's like, no, but when I play with the clip and change the orders around, it goes through.
Yeah.
But then again, sometimes once that went through on Facebook ad, second time they rejects it. You approved it last time. How come you're not approving it now? Or vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. I think the problem too is that, it's algorithmic. There are computers that are analyzing these things, what they think is a body part or what looks, and then it sucks. I have a horror movie trailer for Monsters in the Woods.
Yeah.
And I cut it. It's PG it's a PG trailer, no guns, no nothing, right? And it was approved, and I had a really successful ad running on it, and I did it for a couple of months, and I think it was delivering at like 0.0002 cents a click through, and it was killing on Tubi, and so I just ran it, and then as the income started falling off from it, I was like, well, it's not really worth it to keep pumping too much money into it, but I was like, I'll leave it at $1 a day. So I left it at $1 a day, and I just left it. It was like, it ran for 2 years at that same level. And they've pulled it probably half a dozen times. Like they'll say it's, it's restricted, like I broke the guidelines or whatever. And then I'll just, submit the review request, and a couple of weeks later, they'll put it back up. Yeah. And then they'll take it back down, and then they'll put it back up. Then they'll take it back down. And I'm just like,
it's pain in the ass, because you're like, okay, maybe that's too much, the body parts or whatever, like you said. Yeah. The situation is too much. There's gunshots, there's blood. Maybe that's too much. So you re-edit it and send it in, and you get same, rejection. It's like, what do you need to do? Just put the title. I mean,
it reminds me of there's a book, I think it was a Judy Blume book, like how to be perfect in 5 days. And it basically boiled down, they did all these steps, but it basically boils down to this little girl sitting in a room in a corner drinking weak tea and not doing anything.
Perfect. Yeah. So I mean, but it's just, so Facebook, it works. But not only that, Facebook also, when you create a Facebook ad, they also do Instagram at the same time. So, which is good.
Yeah, I like it. Have you used Google Ads or like YouTube?
No, I've been watching, as I say, I've been watching your video. I've been thinking about, I got Beary coming up, and I might use that for it, and the other older movies, and to see if I could get attraction, and put the link to it to people to go see. But I haven't done that. It's been so busy. But also when you do that, you gotta, re-edit all the clips, it's something I need to spend time on it, and I haven't been. So I'll probably start doing that soon. Yeah.
I mean, I've had some luck with it, but honestly, Facebook is where I get my most traction with ads. I know another producer, man, I can't remember his name right now, but he has had incredible luck with Google Ads. He keeps telling me like that's where I need to be. But I haven't. I've done a few, but I just haven't figured it out in the same way as Facebook.
You got to make a video of it so I could watch it.
Yeah, I know. I got to get it figured out.
Yeah, good thing about your video is you don't just talk about it, you give them instruction. How to do step by step. Right. I think I watched your FILMHUB video about 5 to 8 times trying to figure it out. But I think that's one good thing about your video. You don't just talk about it, you give them step-to-step instruction so anybody can follow and distribute their movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important to be a little more detailed in some of it. I just didn't want to be one of them guys that's, like a filmmaking guru, and they give you just really generic advice. There's so many of those.
Yeah, you see, I think like most people, I think time is very essential, and you don't want to be conned into watching a video.
Yeah.
And there isn't any information that
Yeah.
you could use,
Yeah. And I fully admit, I've done a few where I've been like, because I've committed to putting out, 2 videos a week. So, and there are some weeks where, you're kind of running on fumes as far as ideas. So, you'll put up some kind of generic, but I think I'm going to start slowing it down though. I'm getting a little burned out on it.
I think you're doing great. Honestly, as I said, I enjoy watching your video. I think 2 videos a week is fine. Maybe you make one longer one, 30-minute one, and one, short one or 2-minute one. I'm just throwing things.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I'm actually starting to enlist other filmmakers to do videos for my channel. And I just give them most of the money, and then, I just keep a little bit, but it helps keep the channel alive. Nice. I don't want to make videos every week. Man, so it looks like you've done a bunch during quarantine. Have you been shooting?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have what does it show? I don't have a thing up.
I'm looking at Cold-Blooded, How to Kill Your Roommates and Get Away with It.
Okay, Cold-Blooded. Okay, you know what? That was the actual second movie I did. It wasn't the Lilith. That was the second movie. It was shot 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Wow.
And it was a monster movie. And I said, you know what? That monster looked like shit. So let's do CGI. I'm going to hire a CGI guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found the one I kind of like. And he's working on it. Hopefully that'll be out end of this year. And I rewatched it. We had a first, second, third cut. And my wife and I just rewatched it. And she looks at me going, God, it's shit. You're going to recut it, right? Because yeah, let me put the monster in and I'll recut it to make it better. And with the music, it may work. Okay. She's like, okay. What's the second one you read? How to kill my roommates and get away with it.
Right.
I produced it and shot it. It's Pat Kusnadi. I don't know if you know him.
No, no.
Okay, he's another producer, and he always wanted to direct a film. A feature. He did some shorts and he wanted to direct a feature, and he's been talking for years, and I'm like, just do it because I don't have script. You had the roommate script that you show me. Why don't you do that? Okay, so he rewrote it, and because it only needs 1 or 2 location, I think he shot at my house for 80% of the movie. And we had a great actors, Lara Jean, Hunter Johnson, Eric Grove, Felissa Ross is in it, Dave Sheridan. So it was a fun movie to shoot. So I'm actually part producer, DP, and whatever. Yeah. So he wanted to shoot something. He just needed a location, and so we decided, let's do it. It's pandemic. They have shots. They're vaccinated. Let's just do it.
I ask everyone this. If I were to show up on your doorstep with $50,000 to shoot an independent film, what type of movie would you shoot? And like, how basically would you spread that budget out?
I would spend that movie on a $25,000 movie.
Okay.
I think I could do it. Or one $50,000 movie, but I would go with the $25,000. I think I could do it, make it work. I always want to get back to action genre, which I love, and I think I'm pretty good at compared to any other things. So I would do that. How would I spend the money? It's always come to, hate to say this, but it's always come to the talent. so major studios or not even major, any distribution company, the first thing they say is who's in it, basically.
Yeah.
So I will spend, some good amount of money on budget on talent. Then after that, it has to be divided into locations and other necessary things. Yeah.
Right.
But talent is essential in this business. I mean, you don't think about it. But good thing about horror and action, it's not as important as other like drama, family movie,
Comedies,
rom-com, they need recognizable names. But as far as action and all that, it's a little less, so which is a good thing. But I'll spend some money on good. Yeah.
If you're digging my stuff, please consider supporting me on Patreon. But whatever you do, keep making movies.